help clean air. Of course, we're talking about green space, we're talking about the environment. If you have trees, where you stay, is the environment, does it have any form of vegetation, or it's just, buildings and all that? So a number of speakers came into shape, and of course looking at the fact that they pointed out, okay, one of the issues that they were supposed to actually look into, they were looking into the wildfires and of course other issues. Yes, they were looking at wildfires and smoke. Then they looked at the quality. Today they're going to be discussing the air quality and environment justice. Yes, do you do justice to the environment, or all you do is pollute? And the next thing you know, we are competing for oxygen. Yeah, so that is also has to be considered. The more you pollute the environment, the more we are at risk, the more vegetation is also at risk. Yeah, and of course they also looked at air quality and climate. Yes, one of the reasons why we have interchanging season is due to such instances, air pollution. Yeah, and then we have health, and of course finally they're going to be looking at air, animals and plants. That is tomorrow. And of course census is on our part as Uganda. Well, the rest of the world is has their days, has their time, their period, there's period to carry out census. Yeah. These have been in form of partnering with schools, having virtual community health fairs, that educate people on the importance and create an awareness on air quality, on how we can actually work together and educate each other on how to live a healthy life. And of course, schools as well, educating students and staff, on how to go about this thing we call air pollution, looking at the air quality index in Uganda 8 times than the recommended. That means I do not know what they meant there. Is it because of cars? And of course, the number one cause is transportation, cars, vehicles. Yes. And actually, if you realize in COVID-19, 2021, people were more healthier. Fine, there was COVID-19, but people were more healthier because there were less emissions, So it was a healthy nation, yeah. So definitely, this is always there. Every May, we're talking about air. And of course, it all involves infrastructure, the industries that we have, the biomass that we do produce. So it is necessary that we keep our environment clean. I like the fact that at least in Kampala, in the city, you can see a little bit of trees. Actually, there are some trees compared to other countries where the city is, you cannot even find a flower anywhere, but at least we have our park right there. It has some vegetation. So I think the only thing that is affecting us as Uganda is the cars. The cars do not get quality fuel. The quality of fuel also determines if you're going in for a cheaper product because you feel maybe it could work for you. Trust me, at the end of the day, you're polluting the environment, you're bringing health hazards to yourself. And of course, looking at, they were giving an assessment, looking at parts of South Texas experiencing a dip in air quality from agricultural smoke in Mexico. Yes, so you have to understand that this is quite important. And of course, we shall be having experts coming in today to talk about this very issue of air quality, and of course looking at transport, which we have to advocate for. We have to advocate for that as well. so that people, you can maintain your car. It could be in the early 2000s, 2000 model, but you could maintain it very well. It's in good shape. And the traffic, the longer we stay in traffic, the more this air is contaminated. Yeah, so we have to create more roads to lessen the congestion that is in our capital here in Uganda. Why I'm saying Kampala, it's because it's the capital city, and in most districts or cities, it's rare, quite rare, you know, there are lesser cars compared to here, which is economic hub of Uganda, yeah, and of course downtown. You know, it's quite funny when the traders were protesting a few weeks ago. There were no cars, actually. There were fewer cars, so it got me thinking. I'm like, okay, so these traders are the ones that responsible for all this. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of our morning call, and much conversations will be coming in later in the show from 8 to 10 a.m. Well, let's see what is happening into the press. Well, yes, tomorrow is the day, and the roadblocks are back ahead of census start. Looking at Uganda Bureau of Statistics Executive Director, that is Chris Mukiza, says they have worked out an arrangement with security agencies to return roadblocks where individuals in transit will be counted and issued a card to eliminate the possibility of double counting. Okay, so those that are planning to travel on those days, they will count you in whichever day it will be, be it tomorrow, be it Saturday, Sunday, be it Monday. Yes, that will be availed so that we avoid and of course government assures Ugandans on AstraZeneca. Yes, the COVID-19 still around, and of course the withdrawal of AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines from the market amid complaints of rare but life-threatening side effects. Okay. Yes, looking, and of course, as we finish the month of May, getting into June, where we get to celebrate the Martyrs' Day, the Anglican Church 500 million shillings for Martyrs' Day 30. Yeah, 3rd June, and of course, Uganda shines at a Dubai exhibition. And of course, yesterday, Uganda crowned as the best investment destination for the United Arab Emirates. Good news right here. Yeah. Well, and of course, sleep where you want to be counted. That is according to Ubus. Sleep where you want to be counted. And of course, that is in census night. The census night there, I want to work Kampala. People of Kampala will sleep anywhere in the bars. But tell you what, there have been guidelines on how that's going to be working. And of course, Ubus to mount roadblocks. And of course, bar patrons given guidelines. Towns to count street kids. Okay. Hospitals to record numbers. Schools, universities get directives as well. Lodges, hotels to capture numbers. If that night you slept in a hotel, trust me, you will be counted. You won't be rolled out. And of course, truck drivers to be counted tonight. Okay. Yes, the census night starts today, and it's day 1 of enumeration. Yes. And of course, Uganda Wildlife Authority suspends loading new park. Yeah. Is Uganda's growth eating the environment? Okay. Yeah, of course, this is to do with SDGs, Uganda's progress, SDGs on the planet. Yeah, there are 13 SDGs, if you did not know. And standard sustainable development goals. Yeah, and of course, stressing roots of Europe Day. Yeah, and of course EU and the Ghana government teams after signing an agreement on forestry collaboration right there. And of course Museveni said EU should engage in a genuine engagement with Africa to increase business prospects for both countries. Quite a good move right there. Yeah. And of course EU injects 16 billion into the climate change fight. Yes, and of course this is relevant to what we're talking about today, air quality. Yes, so the beneficiaries speak out. Those NEBI, of course, they are also planting 10,000 trees on the road reserves and giving out fruit trees to communities. Yeah, it's good to conserve the environment, but we have to consider that some events happen due to natural calamities. And of course, this is the Europe Day. Uganda ties boost socio-economic development. And of course, as Uganda moves to improve the environment for growth and investment, the EU family supports its agenda through various projects right there. And of course, inclusive market-based development for smaller farmers. We have action for livelihood enhancement in northern Uganda. And we have a small and medium agribusiness development fund, which the 15.5 million fund aims at addressing major barrier to the road development in Uganda. Also looking at support for the implementation of the components of DINO. Looking at transport, logistics, water and energy, and good governance right there. That you also have to look into that matter. So it was the Europe Day, and they were looking, and of course Supreme Project ushers vulnerable persons into the money economy. Talk about women, talk about youth, and of course participants in 1,000 savings and development clusters have been identified as champion beneficiaries of this money, the 16 billion that the EU is going to be cashing out. So this is good actually to help people come out of poverty. That's our goal of 2040, 30 as well. And of course, still on the Europe Day, championing safe, inclusive education, gender equality. The program ensures that every child, regardless of their background, accesses quality education and opportunities for a better future. It is also one of the SDGs, quality education. Quite important, regardless. Why not? Though it's becoming a bit expensive lately, even in these UPE or USE schools, it's quite expensive. There's an additional money that they have to pay. To have for food, cater for teachers, those that part-time. And of course, Honorable Kadaga roots for industrial hubs to curb unemployment. Yes. And of course, the first Deputy Prime Minister, Rebecca Kadaga, has urged Busoga residents to embrace the presidential skilling hubs. Desisting from gambling, she noted that, emphasized. Teaming up, project timing is the best. Parents called to support their children. About 10,000 youths skilled. This is quite impressive. I'm seeing here people making beautiful cakes here, and this is what we hope that we have more skills. Though there's going to be competition, but whoever beats the competition is the one that gets the bigger share. And of course, urban residents at risk as vendors overturn walkways. By the way, The condition of roads in Uganda has improved significantly, but there is growing concern about the deteriorating state of pavements and walkways in cities. I mean, walkways are supposed to be walkways, but you find a vendor putting, so Twenyiga, we find ourselves squeezed into the walkway, and someone just displayed their goods, their merchandise there, and you're squeezing yourselves in. You're almost getting into the road as a pedestrian, yet it's supposed to be your place to be in. Well, there's been NMT, the non-motorized transport along Namirembe Road. That one has also been misused as well. People put their merchandise, and if you have your bike, if you're in a wheelchair, you cannot actually. So we are yet to assess what is the importance. Did people of Uganda understand the reason as to why there was a pilot project in line with that? Yeah, we want to see people comply with what the road is meant for. Okay, it's meant for those that do bicycles, those not motorcycles, but bicycles, those that are on wheelchairs. So please, those that are walking, that's supposed to be their road. Yeah. And of course, stolen pavements, like I'm seeing here, right here. When you think of the causes of car crash, you might immediately think of driver's errors, but such as carelessness driving. But in rare cases, which is true, which is totally true. I must say so. There is really need for people to comply with what is supposed. So it's a walkway, but the border is really passing like Mutwagazaj, and you know, you can be knocked. You can be a victim right there. He's in wrong, but Bajakutomerera also. I am fighting for the rights of the pedestrians right here. I'm seeing here clear pavements for safer roads. Yeah, quite interesting right here. Yeah, and of course, insurers are a digital device to grow micro insurance. Yeah, and of course, government sets priorities for the NDP 5. Yeah, the National Development Plan. Yeah, this is 4. This is 4 actually, not 5. Yeah, so a lot is happening in our country, Uganda. Let's make sure that we adhere tonight and tomorrow, probably, so that we have compliant. Failure to be counted, 6 months in prison. That's the thing. Well, of course, Uganda shines in Dubai as UAE invests hit 3 trillion. Yeah, of course, the list of the United Arab Emirates firms investing in Uganda. We have those of 20 million, 150 million, 300 million, 50 million. That's in dollars, actually. Dollars, 20 million, all that amounting to trillions. Yeah, the ongoing conference attracted 12,000 participants from 174 countries across the world. And trust me, Uganda was spotted out as the #1 destination for investment for United Arab Emirates. The development comes at a time when the UAE investment in Uganda has hit more than $832 million, which is approximately to 3.1 trillion, in agro-processing, renewable energy, tourism, telecommunications, oil and gas, mining, construction, security, health, and education. I mean, it's everywhere. They have really invested in they're talking about health. I mean, they're invested everywhere, actually. This sums it all up. This sums it all up. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, looking at missing MOOB students found dead. Actually, this case has been on for a while. And of course, UBOS to count nine people with disability groups. Okay. Yeah, they should get ready. So a lot is actually happening in Uganda's, and of course taxes ought to create safe and conducive business environments, a working environment for the business fraternity. Yeah, so definitely a lot we could say is happening in Uganda, and of course yeah, looking at the EU Day as well, yeah, 66.8 billion unleashed to propel economic growth and climate resilience. Yeah, so a lot is indeed happening in our country, Uganda. Well, it's a few minutes to clock to 7:30. Well, I'm going for a short commercial break, but I'll be back with what is happening in East Africa and across the borders. Do stick around.